Hello everyone, this is Boricua Binks and welcome back to Let's Play Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations. In the last episode, we were questioning Iris still, and she was still saying so many things that didn't make any freaking sense. And I got frustrated because I felt like Phoenix really should have kept objecting to a lot of things, and he didn't, but whatever. So now we're focusing on how she transported the body after the murder. Which, this is going to be a tricky one. It's going to be one of those, like, it doesn't make sense, but it will in the future, so you just got to hang in there and try to figure it out. Alright, so I believe for this one, there is a way to move the body. But it's crazy. So, remember that good old sketch that Larry made? You gotta base it off of the picture that Godot just gave us, which is this one. I mean, the only thing that really sticks out, look at that wire. So, yeah, that's gonna be the basis for this whole thing. It's still crazy, but yeah, we're gonna go with this. Here we go. A dead body flying over a burning bridge. I wouldn't exactly rule out the possibility. What? Ha! You're saying it's possible. Don't make me laugh. The only thing that's possible about your claim is that it's been pulled out of thin air. Nice one, Godot. I don't know about that. In any case, we have a witness who did see it happen. Preposterous! You should swallow or spit before you start talking, Godot. I feel sorry for anyone who has to clean up after him after every time he spits the coffee out. Ew. Who is it? Who is this witness? I can't chicken out here. I've got to keep on the attack and go, go, go. Miss Elise Donham's brilliant and highly gifted apprentice. You had to add brilliant and highly gifted. Just trying to make up for the fact that it's Larry. Elise Donham. Brilliant. Highly gifted.
Apprentice?
Remember what he said in his testimony. That night he was at the mountain shack, Heavenly Hall. And that's when he witnessed the event. I think you've all seen this sketch before. It's an exact drawing of what he witnessed that night. They're like, what? Are you serious? Today's not April Fool's Day, is it? Mr. Wright, are you seriously claiming that the victim flew through the air? And you're using this pathetic scribble to support your argument? Hey, it's not that bad. Better than what I could do. Uh-oh. The judge looks like he's about to blow a gasket. Ha! Well, Troit, there's nowhere for you to hide now. Other than looking like it was drawn by a 6-year-old, does this sketch prove anything? Yes, I'm pretty sure it does, and I'm going to prove it. Listen, I know your tricks. You're trying to turn this whole thing upside down. If you're so eager to turn this case upside down, why not start with this sketch? Upside down? Why did Godot say that? It's almost like he's giving you a hint. Alright then, let's hear the defense's theory. What exactly is this sketch trying to show? I don't think old Whiskerface is going to forgive any more mistakes. Old Whiskerface? Seriously? Rude! Alright, Phoenix, look carefully and think it over. This sketch drawn by Elise Donham is... well, I'm gonna say it's exactly what happened. Of course the victim was flying through the air. You can see it right there in the sketch. Whoosh!
You know, you're starting to remind me of yesterday's witness.
What? That was the last thing I wanted to hear.
Do you have any evidence that the victim flew through the air?
Just so you know, we haven't discovered a giant human catapult at the inner temple yet. Ugh, I wish they had. That was funny. Even if you're a lousy lawyer, at least you're 1 cup's worth of entertainment. I think we should skip the penalty this time. That's why I did it, you guys. I went for this because, it's funny. Ugh. There must be some way. I just know it. There must be a way to use Larry's sketch to show the truth of what happened. Thank you, game, for giving us a hint to what's going on based on showing us this image of Larry's positioning.
Alright then, the witness will now return to her testimony.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so we gotta do it again. We gotta present that again. But it was really funny. Okay, here we go again. Nope. Nope. It all comes back to this. That's actually new dialogue, which is funny.
I can't believe we're looking at this again.
I admit that I didn't really understand it before, but I get it now. That's why I believe this sketch shows the truth.
Very well. Alright then, let's hear the defense's theory. What exactly is this sketch trying to show?
I don't think Old Whisker Face. Okay, here we go. Alright, Phoenix, looks carefully and think it over. The sketch is a complete contradiction. Something is obviously funny about this sketch.
I'm no art critic, but even I can see that.
No, that's not what I mean, Your Honor. Laurice Donham stated it over and over, that this sketch was exactly as he saw it. However, if we're to believe his testimony, then the sketch contradicts reality as we know it.
It contradicts reality.
Huh. This is getting interesting. Looks like you're back to that finger-pointing thing again. Always, man. Always. Okay, Troit. So what exactly contradicts reality as we know it? Well, obviously the lady in the air? Actually, hold on. Is it the lady in the air? I'm trying to remember. Wasn't there something else I was supposed to click on? Actually, no, this is... Oh, that's right. I think we're supposed to actually present this based on the picture we show Godot presented of the bridge. It's this wire connected to the bridge.
The wire.
Ah, is that the thing that contradicts reality? It is indeed. Then show us the reality it supposedly conflicts with. Show us something that will point out how the sketch contradicts reality. Okay, so now we use the picture. If you look at it, look at the design. It doesn't match at all. So, yeah.
That's a photo of Dusky Bridge, correct?
Yes. Now compare the sketch and the photo for a minute. In the sketch, the wires appear to be above the guard wires. But on the actual Dusky Bridge,
Jumping Jehoshaphat!
the wires are below the guard wires.
What?
Stop doing that, Godot. The poor bailiff has to run and clean it every time.
Order, order, order! This sketch is somewhat different than what's depicted in the photo. However, isn't it likely that the artist just saw it wrong?
Or perhaps he just drew it wrong?
Either way, it sounds like you're just wrong. Nah, I'm actually Phoenix right. Correct. With someone like Larice, I admit a mistake is a definite possibility. But then that begs the question, why did he make a mistake? What was the reason?
Are you saying you know the answer to that?
Listen, think back, alright? Remember what Larice was doing when he witnessed this event. He was at Heavenly Hall waiting for a lover that was never going to come. Aw, poor Larry. He waited and waited, and finally he laid down. But then, lightning shoots from the sky and sets the bridge aflame. Now ponder what sort of position Larry must have been in at that time. He was lying on his back, which is why he remembered the scene the way he did.
He was lying on his back. I can't see how it relates.
But it does, Your Honor. That's the reason why the wires in the sketch go up instead of down.
Ah! No way.
Larice Donham witnessed the event while he was lying on his back face up. In other words, the scene that he saw was actually upside down. A literal turnabout in this case, it's crazy.
So then, this sketch should actually...
I think you finally get it, Your Honor. The correct way to view Larice Donham's sketch is like this. This is how it should actually look. The victim's body wasn't flying above the bridge. It was actually swinging below. That's right, just like a pendulum. Here we go. Ridiculous! Godot, please.
Order, order, order! Of all the things to say, a pendulum.
The bridge was burning to a crisp. There was no way to get across it. But if the body had been found at the inner temple, it would have caused problems. This is where the criminal decided to take a gamble. They used the burning bridge to get the body across to the other side. And a pendulum was the only way to get it done.
Let's think about this for a minute, shall we? Dusky Bridge is about 20 yards long, which means it's about that far from the inner temple to the opposite cliff.
Yes, that sounds right.
In order to cover that distance with a pendulum, you'd need a rope at least 10 yards long. To get a rope that long, you'd have to plan ahead.
The lightning strike that night can only have been an accident, so it doesn't make sense that the criminal would have prepared the rope beforehand. So then, the criminal... They didn't have to get the rope ready. The rope was already right in front of the criminal.
What?
This is pretty brilliant and crazy, but yeah. I'm saying that it was just a matter of using what was already there.
In that case, Mr. Wright, please give us an explanation to support your theory. What makes you think the criminal had the rope on hand to create a pendulum?
Well, based on that same sketch, there's something dangling right in front of our noses.
And the meaning of this is...
If you want to know where the rope came from, it's hanging right there in front of your glorious beard.
Ah! This is one of the wires from the bridge.
When the lightning struck the bridge and set it on fire, one of the suspension wires came loose from its anchor. The criminal didn't have any time to waste, so they tied the wire around Elise Donham's body. It's crazy. Because there was simply no other way to move the body. Although you still could have frickin' dumped it in the river, but whatever.
Ah,
Glug, 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 glug. Go ahead, choke on it, Godot. Choke.
Mr. Godot. It seems that Mr. Godot is more focused on his coffee than answering my question. It seems that the odds of a rope being readily available were very high. So I suppose that it's not an impossibility after all.
How do you still have coffee in that mug unless they just gave you another one while we weren't looking?
Possible or impossible? That's not the question we need to ask. There's only one question. Did that really happen? Trite, I wonder if you can prove what happened to us. Do you have any actual evidence that the body was swung over like a pendulum?
How about, I have two things in mind. One, the whole body fell 10 feet after death. And there's something else too. I'm not sure which one comes first. It's either that or her sphere. I'm actually going to go with the body one though, that it fell 10 feet. That's really good proof to me. Before I present my evidence, let me review what we know so far. According to this photo, one of the wires snapped. Looking at the map, we can see it's the one that was in front of the inner temple.
So then that was the spot where the criminal...
Yes, precisely. Now let us consider the body's movement by looking at the overhead map again. If the body was pushed from this point here, it would drop on the opposite bank at approximately this point.
Did you say drop?
Well, they must have failed to catch the body on the other bank.
What? What makes you think something like that happened?
Because I have evidence that suggests her body dropped some distance.
What kind of evidence?
Take a look at this autopsy report. It says here that her body fell about 10 feet after her death.
10 feet, huh?
That's most likely the height difference between the two sides. The body overswung due to the forward momentum, but then came loose and fell about 10 feet. And then, as a result of the landing impact, this crystal sphere was knocked loose. Yeah, I remember. This is one of those that you could present either one, probably.
That's...
Yes, this blood-stained amethyst crystal. It's the one that came off of Miss Elise Donham's staff. And even more important is the place where this crystal sphere was found.
Indeed, I believe it's already marked on this overhead map.
Yep,
The crystal was found. Oh!
precisely, Your Honor. In the very spot where the pendulum would arrive if given the right amount of speed. Wow. It's crazy.
This explains your theory quite well, Mr. Wright. You have provided us with the way the body could have been moved that night. An impressive deduction, Mr. Wright. Most impressive.
Oh!
Mr. Wright!
Darn it, Godot!
I thought this cold coffee might help cool you down.
Well, at least it's cold now.
What is the meaning of this, Mr. Godot? You stop bullying the defense attorney in the courtroom. That was a dark and bitter guess that you made, Trite. But you forgot about one thing. Oh, and what would that be? The aroma.
Huh? How did you clean your face off that fast? Just kidding.
A coffee's most reliable accomplice is its deep and profound aroma.
The rest of the court doesn't speak coffinese. Can you elaborate a bit more? He's such a coffeeholic, it's ridiculous. If the criminal had sent the body to the other side like you say, then naturally there must have been an accomplice lying in wait to catch it.
An accomplice?
We just heard that word recently, didn't we? The criminal wasn't able to cross Dusky Bridge. So, who collected the body? What do you have to say about that, Trite?
Mr. Godot is correct. This can't be the work of a single person. Well, Mr. Wright, you know what you must do.
Yes, Your Honor. The body couldn't have made it to Hazakura Temple without an accomplice. It's pretty obvious, honestly.
Very well then. If you please, Mr. Wright. Who was the person that received the body on the Hazakura Temple side?
It's very obvious because there's only one person who already admitted to being an accomplice and who would had the key to the snowmobile and was seen with the body. It can only be you, Sister Iris.
Huh? Ah! But I
don't see why you're so surprised. The only way to transport the body from Dusky Bridge is by snowmobile. But with her bad back, Sister Bikini could never pick up a body like that. You're the only one that could have managed it. Trite, were you even listening to the witness's testimony? On the night of the crime, this little cutie pie was on cleanup duty in the inner temple garden after the mother-daughter bloodbath. I haven't forgotten, but have you, Mr. Godot? This witness was also seen at Hazakura Temple, desecrating the corpse of the victim.
Strange indeed. It's almost as if...
Almost as if...
On that night, the defendant was in 2 different places at the same time.
You don't say. Sister Iris, let me ask you something. Why didn't you mention it when you first gave your testimony?
mention what?
The pendulum, of course. Using this sketch drawn by an eyewitness, I've established how the body was moved using the burnt-out bridge, which means it's now a fact that this occurred, something you should have known already.
No, I had no idea. I didn't know anything about a pendulum.
But the body couldn't have been passed along to the other side without your help. So you should have known about it. In fact, it'd be impossible for you to be clueless about this whole thing. Unless you're not really Iris to begin with. Dun dun dun!
What? How can you say that, Mr. Wright?
What? What kind of nonsense is this? You're saying this witness isn't Iris of Hazakura Temple?
Are you serious, Trite? You mean this woman is... Ah, Godot, you seem surprised, but also a little more informed than I would imagine. There's no one besides Iris that could have received the corpse that night, and this also explains why she's been acting this way. Now I get it. Now I know why I've been sick to my stomach during this trial. He could sense the evil. Why her whole demeanor changed so suddenly from yesterday. And why she's trying to pin this murder on Maya. The woman that's standing there at the witness stand. Her real name is Satan. Pretty much. It's none other than our good old frenemy, Dahlia Hawthorne. I never thought I'd have to utter your name again, let alone see you. It's been a long time, Dahlia Hawthorne.
Ah!
Hawthorne!
Sister Iris had a twin sister, and you're looking at her, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne.
That name rings some bells. Distant bells, but bells nonetheless.
Yeah, you had an encounter with her many years ago.
Huh! It's just your imagination, Gramps.
This file contains all the relevant data about Dahlia Hawthorne. Bruh, why you carrying that around, huh? Why, I wonder.
Oh yes, I remember now. That case, 5 years ago.
My name is Dahlia Hawthorne. I just want to say, it's an honor for me to be here in your noble presence.
Yes, pain. The judge, they were all taken in by her.
But, according to this, Dahlia Hawthorne is already dead. It says her execution was carried out last month.
So what? Death has no meaning in this courtroom. Huh? For Godot, of all people, to say that. It is weird, he gets the cornered theme for himself in this moment. It's pretty funny. It's like Godot is suddenly the ace attorney.
What?
Interesting. You never see a prosecutor get that moment, you know? Of being the one to have the objection theme playing. Or is this the cornered theme for this game? I don't remember.
Order, order, order!
Wait a moment. How can you... My sister, she's already dead. What kind of...
You of all people should already understand. After all, the blood of the master of the Karain channeling technique flows within that body.
The Karain channeling technique. Now where have I heard that?
Dude, you've been with us for 2 other games besides this one. You should know by now. That's right. You're not Dahlia Hawthorne herself. You're the spirit of Dahlia, currently inhabiting the body of a spirit medium. What an exciting story. Exciting, but quite impossible. You're asking us to buy that Dahlia Hawthorne just happened to be channeled by someone, on the very night of the murder, to a temple where her twin sister Iris was. Well, if you're going to put things that way, then yes. We're supposed to believe a coincidence like that? A coincidence like that just happens? Not in this game. Naturally, it was no coincidence. The whole thing was part of a plan from the very beginning. It's all written right here in these instructions.
Ah! What's that?
These instructions were written by your mother, Morgan Fay. And part of the plan called for Dahlia Hawthorne to be channeled. That night, there were 2 irises at Hazakura Temple. 2 of them. Even the time of the channeling was planned out. As soon as you hear the lights out bell, in other words, 10 p.m. However, Iris was seen before dinner time.
That means the Iris that was at dinner was the real Iris.
And the Iris who gave me this hood in the main hall was also the real Iris. Meaning that the Iris Sister Bikini saw at the inner temple was someone else dressed as her, namely one Dahlia Hawthorne. Do you even know what you're saying, Trite? This whole
channeling the spirit of Dahlia Hawthorne business. Yes, it's true that you found plans that talk about it. However, there's one thing that's perfectly clear. The witness currently standing in the witness stand is the real Iris.
What? No, it can't be.
Calm down and remember what you know about the night of the crime. After meeting Sister Bikini, the Dahlia Hawthorne that had been channeled would have been stranded at the inner temple due to the lightning strike. It was later that the body was moved by pendulum.
That's right.
Naturally, that would mean that the Iris that received the body was the real Iris. Are you with me so far?
Yes.
After being notified of what happened, the police came to Hazakura Temple's main hall. There they found Iris in her room and arrested her. And ever since, she's been under police supervision at the detention center.
Yes, I suppose. I can't deny any of that.
Phew, thank goodness. It looks like he's finally convinced.
Don't you blush like that, you demon woman. But something still seems off. Way off. I'm still not convinced that the Iris here is the same one from that other night.
Huh! I suppose you're about to say something really ridiculous. Like the real Iris and the spirit of Dahlia somehow switched places. Switched places? To be perfectly honest, there are still quite a few things I don't understand, but I do know that unless we confirm the witness's identity, we can't continue with this trial.
Iris doesn't have the spiritual power needed to channel Dahlia, which means they must have switched places somewhere.
Well, Mr. Wright, since the time she was arrested at Hazakura Temple, have there been any chances for Iris to switch places with Dahlia Hawthorne?
I hate to do this, kind of puts him under the bus, but Edgeworth did do a little oopsie, so that was the one chance. Your Honor, I think there might have been one chance.
Oh, explain yourself.
Yesterday, for a few minutes, Iris's whereabouts were unknown.
Unknown? What do you mean?
What I mean is, there was a span of time in which Iris was able to move about freely, unsupervised.
Well, who was it? Who would give a murder suspect time to move about freely like that?
I'm sorry. I know you didn't mean to. It wasn't your fault. The person who gave Iris the chance to move freely about was... this hurts to do this, but I'm so sorry. You're probably going to be in trouble for this. I'm sorry, my baby.
This is Mr. Edgeworth, isn't it?
Your Honor, there was a fairly large earthquake yesterday, was there not?
An earthquake?
Now everybody's gonna know Edgeworth's weakness. Okay, we know, yes. Inner temple, yes. Yes, we don't need to see all this. We went to the inner temple right away. And it's true, Iris was already there. However, they had already switched places by that point in time. When I arrived at the training hall, I was met by none other than Dahlia Hawthorne.
That's quite enough already, Mr. Wright. Now see here. No judge in his right mind would consider the idea of
spirit channeling, I think. Dude, we've already had this happen in your court a few times, haven't we? Come on now.
Be quiet.
Ah, there she is.
It's been a long time, Mr. Judge.
Ugh! That voice! Guess I'll have to ask again. Upon meeting a beautiful lady, always ask for her name and profession.
Huh, her profession is killer, murderer.
That's one of my rules.
Oh, there's the music.
Dahlia Hawthorne, and my current profession, permanently retired.
Ooh, I got chills, dude.
Ha! So you're not going to bother hiding your identity anymore, huh?
Why should I? After all, I'm dead.
Ooh, that face looks so evil. Ooh, it's so creepy.
There's really nothing you can do to punish me.
What is going on here?
Dahlia Hawthorne. I never thought we'd meet again, and I never thought we'd meet like this. But this time, I'll end it. For her and for myself. I have a feeling the her you're talking about is Mia. Wow. Alright, to be continued. I knew we were coming up on one, which is why I kept going. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is gonna be quite fun. So, until next time, have a nice day. Bye!